why you get needle threaders. Just gonna make it about that long. I'm gonna cut it. We're gonna tie it. So I'm gonna wrap it around my finger like 3 times. Well, actually, hold on. So I'm gonna leave a tail and then wrap it around my finger 3 times, or 4. And I'm going to put my end through the loop. And just tighten it, both ends. Like that. If you feel like you need to do it again, you can. Just do another loop and pull it through the hole. Makes it a little bit thicker. Okay, so this temple didn't come out as sharp as I wanted it to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to thread around the border of the temple. You can see here I started doing just normal stitches, but then I realized that I didn't really like that look. So what I started doing is making just longer stitches. I know that embroidery, they do this sometimes. I don't do a lot of embroidery, so it didn't really occur to me at the first. But so we're just going to do these long stitches. They're about, like 3/4 of an inch long. So I'm just going around the temple, the border, and making, where I can, long stitches. Where you can't, then you just make it as long as you can. But the whole point is that when you're doing the stitch from the back, you want it to be very close. So like this is going to be from the back. So I'm going to try to make it very close to the other one. So here I want the needle to be really close to where I ended up last time. So about right here, see where I had gone in right there, and that's almost exactly where I'm coming through again, so that there's no space. And then again, like I said, you want to put your thumb over the opening and slowly pull it through. And when you see that you start getting, bunchiness, you kind of want to stop. If you do have bunchiness, you want to stop and straighten it out and then continue to pull. That way you don't get any knots. Sorry, my voice is cracking. So then like on the outside, now I can go my long lengths. So, but here I want to make sure that I get, I don't want to go straight into up to the spire. I want to show that there's, this part here that bridges the main part to the smaller spires. So I'm going to do that. That's going to be a little bit shorter than I want, but you need to do that so that you can see that definition. So right there. And now I'm going to go back through on this side very close to where I came in. And you kind of have to, it might take you a few times to try to get your needle through in the right spot. Then you're pulling through, keeping my finger on the opening there, trying to make the thread go through nice and straight and not to bunch, which means you got to do it slow. And then so now I'm on the outside, so now I'm going to do a long length. So I'm going to do maybe like to about here. And then I'm going to put my thumb over it and slowly pull. And see there's bunchiness, so I'm going to kind of pull it out. I'm going to try this again. And again, it's kind of bunching, but when you have your finger over the opening, it kind of helps a whole bunch to not make it knot up. kind of forces it to work itself out before it goes through the hole. Okay, so now you see that long length that we did. So now we're gonna go back to the opposite side and try to kind of judge where that was. But see, that's too much of a gap, so I'm gonna try it, pull it out again, and then poke through where it's gonna be closest. So that's pretty close, so that's good. And then I'm going to pull through again. And that came out pretty good. So now I'm gonna do another long length up to the top of my spire. You might wanna judge and see, is that about where I was on the other one? That's pretty even. Ugh. Okay, and so I'm just going to again go through at the closest point here.
Daddy, get you.
Hey, Zach. So then that's through. So now I can do another long length. I'm gonna make it even with where I came in through the other way. So it looks pretty even. Kind of helps when you let the string kind of dangle. There we go. Go through really close. There we go. You could even put 2 fingers down to even make it more, deter it from bunching. And I'm gonna make a long length again here. Even do it, yeah, right, like right there. That might even help more to keep it staying straight.
This one.
So I'm doing it really close on the back. Right there's good. And put 2 fingers down right where it's coming through so that it stays straight. I'm gonna be really slow pulling it through. Do that too, so that it's even more defined. But I think this is really good too. Especially since we didn't, I didn't plan on doing this because I didn't plan that we needed to define the temple because I thought it was going to come out pretty good, but it did come up more blurry than I wanted it to be. So I'm going to go back through the back and I'm going to come up the side here to correct my little stitches here. But like I said, so if you want to, you could come up here and define right there as well, but that's up to you. All right, thanks guys. Okay, so you're gonna need to cut this out. This is gonna be the back part of the sachet. So it will not be blue and have the temple on it. It'll actually just be, you know, whatever fabric you were given. So you'll have a template given to you so that you can trace out these pieces. Your template might not have, you know, the design on it. It might just be, you know, a partial heart with another partial heart. But you're just going to fit them onto your fabric just as best as you can. And then you're just going to trace. Okay, so I have it traced out, and now I'm just going to use my scissors. Actually, I'm going to need to use sharper scissors, but I'm going to use some scissors and I'm going to cut this out. So the scissors that you want to use could be regular scissors or they could be pinking shears that are jaggedy. Either way, you're just going to cut along the line. I don't have any pinking shears right now, so I'm just going to be using regular scissors. The pinking shears are good because they keep it from fraying. So if you're going to be, washing it a whole bunch, then, that might be something that'll keep it lasting a little bit longer. But you shouldn't be really washing this like too often anyways. So, if you don't have pinking shears, it's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to take your pieces that you've cut out. You might have cut it with the pinking shears. I didn't have mine right at the moment, so I just went ahead and cut it just without that. You're going to have to take it and crease it like this. Crease it several times to make sure it stays. And you do the same thing for the other one, about a 1/4 of an inch or so, maybe a 1/3 of an inch. And just make sure the crease is there so that when you sew it, it'll be okay. So we're just gonna sew a stitch just down right here and then down right here. So I'm gonna start with right here. You wanna keep the knotted part. You wanna start, coming in from the back and then going out the front way. And then remember, we wanna kind of like put our thumb on it a little bit away from where it's going through so that it doesn't get tangled. So like when I'm going through this way, I'm gonna hold it down just a little bit away so that all the knots and everything will get worked out before it gets to the hole, and I won't have any tangles.